and gaming experience. These are the episodes of the Gamer's Frontier to boldly talk gaming into your ear. These are the GamerMen.
Hello and welcome to episode 6 of the GamerMen. I'm the Earth Nerd.
And I'm Firestorm.
And obviously this is the run-up into E3. First things first, we'll give a bit of news, bridge into the E3, and we've got a little bit of a feature that you may be interested in, if not a bit puzzled with. To start with, everybody's going on about Assassin's Creed and how pants the last one was. And there has been quite a few people saying it was actually really good. A lot of places just say it was really boring.
All the people that think it's really good, I have to say, you're wrong.
Well, everybody's entitled to their own opinion.
It's their own opinion, but it's a mass majority of the consensus is it the last one, the Revelations, was a complete pile of ants.
Yeah, but the revelation of it was crap.
Say to me, don't swear, and then you swear yourself.
I wasn't swearing. Assassin's Creed 3, everybody knows, is going to be coming out later this year. Is it 30th or 31st of October or something?
31st.
Just in time for Halloween. So basically, everybody knows it's now going to be in the American Revolution. And from the look of it, you're going to be some sort of Indian bloody...
You're Indian, American type half-breed thing. Well, I know there's Native American, which is, i.e. Indian, and then there's the Americans, as in what used to be British and we come over and invaded everybody.
Yeah.
But it's sort of a half between the two, so whatever you want to call them, half-breed, whatever, doesn't really matter. We don't know what to describe him as.
If you take it back, I mean, you've got Altair, who was from the Middle East, so it's part Middle East, part friggin' Italy.
Yeah.
So he's part Italian, and now he's going to be part blimmin' whatever that is.
He's Native American, Italian. I mean, this kid's DNA must be quite a mix.
No wonder in Revelations he was screwed up. But there's been Ubisoft have revealed a special edition of Assassin's Creed 3. It's called the Ubi Workshop edition, which is available exclusively through ubiworksoft.com for Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3. In addition to the game, it will also include an updated version of the Assassin's Creed Encyclopedia and the Assassin's Creed Subject 4 graphic novel. Which Subject 4 includes the entire arc of Assassin's Creed The Fall, as well as its up-and-coming sequel, Assassin's Creed The Chain. Apparently, the Ubi Workshop edition includes more than 500 pages of narrative content in total until July 4th, which is obviously going to be in the run-up to Assassin's Creed 3. Apparently, it's going to be $100 with free shipping worldwide, and then obviously that's for the pre-order. And then after it comes out, it's going to be going for the regular price of a £10 extra, or $10 extra. So effectively, you're probably going to be looking at around about £100 for this, I think. For the Encyclopedia, if you're a massive Assassin's Creed fan, which obviously I know Firestorm is, which is why he was so sorely disappointed with the last one, I think it's something that you're probably going to get. Am I right?
Yeah, I'm going to be investing in the third one. I don't know whether I would go for the special editions or the Ubisoft edition or whatever yet, but as an avid fan of the Assassin's Creed series, if they've broken the mould, and, well, no, I wouldn't say break the mould. The first ones are brilliant. The Revelation's the only one that's let us down. If they keep on with really good games and don't fall back on anything to do with Revelations whatsoever, it should be a must-own for those Assassin's Creed fans. If it has gone back to anything anywhere near Revelations, Ubisoft need to hang their head in shame and go behind a shed somewhere and shoot themselves. But
or find
yeah,
the nearest haystack and try and have a look in the nearest haystack.
yeah. It's just I'm looking forward to it. The third one's going to be good by all the looks of it. It's going to be good. You're going to be moving in and out of trees, the weaponry. I would highly recommend the pre-order because apparently you will get some form of sword with teeth in it, apparently, but that is all hearsay right now. We don't know exactly what you'll get for doing the pre-order, but apparently you will get something quite nice, and if you've got the pre-order of the special edition, you will get quite nice times two. So whatever it is, hopefully it will be worth the pre-order. It looks to be a good game. I like where it's going with it. I like sticking with the American side of life. The Civil War is going to be absolutely brilliant, I'm hoping, and the gameplay during the Civil War. And I've been, an avid history fan, a history buff. Alright, I don't know a lot about American history, but from what I do know, it should be a really turbulent battle. So there should be some really interesting missions to go on and side quests and all sorts in the game.
I'll give you a bit of American history. It's got British people in it. It's got Irish people in it. There's been some slavery in it. Lots of Indians in it. And to be honest with you, it's full of Americans. So.
Well, that we've got it.
But moving on, anybody who's a member of Love Film, apparently they're launching the HD streaming on the Xbox 360. It now streams at 720p on the Xbox 360. The HD content will also be coming to the PS3 shortly, but it's worth noting that Sony's console already displays most movies and TV shows at higher quality than standard definition. PC and Mac users will be able to enjoy the content at 1080p, but to enjoy the titles at a resolution of 720, you'll need an internet connection with a minimum speed of 4 megabytes, which I have no problem with because I'm on a nice 60 meg from Virgin.
I do have a problem with because unfortunately I'm stuck with Sky.
Well, dear, never mind.
Yeah.
Love Films also promised to expand its catalogue of HD offerings over the coming weeks and months, including Four Lions, Lost and Planet Earth. I think a lot of people actually got lost with that Lost. Speaking of things that won't get lost, would be Halo. There seems to be more and more games of Halo coming out, and I think Microsoft is starting to milk the franchise a little bit.
Yeah, just a tiny bit overdoing it with the whole Halo series. Last one, which, oh god, what was the name of the last one?
Reach, that's it, sorry. Yeah, yeah, I should know, I've only just done a review on it. Exactly.
Yeah. Halo Reach, the last one, brilliant game, we really enjoyed it. We've got reviews and everything on the GamerMen website, please go visit that.
GamerMen.co.uk.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, Reach. The ending of Reach, or should I say, most of the way through Reach, was basically killing off all the characters. So
nice big spoiler.
Yeah. Sorry for the ones that haven't played it, but oops, they've killed off most of the characters. The one thing I will say is, though, you will enjoy watching them all go off into whatever form of
Halo Heaven.
But yeah, Halo Heaven. Yeah.
The difference is, though, this new one, Halo 4, is not done by Bungie. Bungie have moved on to this Destiny thing, which is going to be shown at E3, apparently. Halo 4 is being done by 363 Industries. Now, I can't even remember what game 363 actually did. they did a game, and it was really, really good, which is probably why they got the franchise handed over to them. They've updated the graphics engine on it so that it looks, I mean, from the graphics side point of thing, and from what you can see of Halo, from the screenshots and everything that's been released already, the game looks stunning. It looks better than Gears of War, personally.
Is a Halo, and at the end of the day, the big Halo fans will...
Everybody's going to want to go out and buy it, but I think a lot of people are going to be hesitant on it. But
it's going to be one that's going to, I'm hoping, going to relaunch the title for the better.
Well, it's the start of a new trilogy, so it'll be interesting to see where 363 Industries take the Master Chief and Cortana. But in effort to try and obviously get pre-orders or pre-order bonuses, some pre-order bonuses have been announced or speculated. Many of these are customizable armor and weapon skins, which means that there'll be no, well, that person bought the pre-order of it and has X weapon which is better than my weapon, so there's
no sort of, oh, your weapon is better than my weapon, it doesn't matter what I do, I'm still going to get killed type jobbing.
Yeah, apparently there's a full range of skills that will be up on offer in the latest Halo Bulletin, so obviously keep your eyes peeled on that, and I'm guessing there'll probably be some form of big announcement in E3. There has been a price and date leaked for the Battlefield 3 Premium service, which is basically EA's answer to Call of Duty Elite. This has been leaked by the European PlayStation Network store. It's reportedly revealed a price and date for the rumoured Battlefield 3 Premium service. According to the leak, Battlefield Premium will set players back around about £40, which is around about €49.99, which is about €50 basically, and will become available on the 4th of June, which sounds like it could be announced, because the 4th of June is obviously, as we know, Microsoft's conference at E3, so it could be a case of Battlefield could be integrated somewhere in the new dashboard, or in a dashboard, should I say. I don't think they're going to be doing a new dashboard, but it was spotted by Eurogamer, but has since been removed, and a formal reveal is expected at E3's press conference next Monday. It's not unlike Call of Duty Elite. It would appear that by paying for a subscription, Battlefield players will have early access to DLC, and for no further cost. Call of Duty Elite has more than 10 million registered users and only 2 million paying subscribers. An alleged English fact sheet for Battlefield 3 Premium, also leaked out of Europe via a German site, claims Battlefield 3 Premium subscribers will also have access to a unique in-game knife. Well, a unique in-game knife. It's basically a variety of exclusive soldier and weapon camos and other perks like queue priority into servers and exclusive double XP weekends. So it sounds like they're going to be shaping this up to be a thing to be using. I know a lot of people signed up to the
Battlefield Online.
Wait, no, not the Battle Log. I'm thinking of the Call of Duty Elite. I mean, I signed up to it, and I looked at it, and I thought, right, it doesn't look too bad. And the more I looked at it, I thought, what a pile of crap.
Yeah, I think that was my consensus as well. I mean, I bought into it the same as everybody else. I didn't pay for it, I just downloaded the free version, which didn't work. The Battle Log wants you to basically play like over 100 games in order to give you any form of information that might be useful to you whatsoever, whether it's what gun works and what doesn't, and what add-ons work and what doesn't. It still took an awful lot of gaming on that particular game to get any form of information through the Elite that's useful to you. All the updates and podcasts or whatever you want to call them that was featured on that lovely bit of shite
Bleep.
weren't exactly useful in any way, or at least I didn't think they were that useful in any way. It had some features. It did have a good idea behind it. I mean, you could join a clan on there and go through your whole clan's history and how they're doing and how they're keeping up on what they use and what their accomplishments are. I did quite like that, but the thing is, you can do that with an awful lot of games anyway. You can look at an overall picture of the people that you're running around with and find out what they're like anyway. So it didn't really give you anything different.
It will be interesting to see what EA do with this one, because obviously Activision promised the sun shining out their backside, and all they did deliver was something what you would probably come close to calling a brown turd. Now, it'd be interesting to see if EA managed to pull something off that Activision couldn't, or to see if it also becomes a big flop. Only time will tell, and whether or not they give it away free to start with. Like a free 30-day trial to see if you like it, which I think would probably be the best way to get people into this, especially after the Call of Duty Elite fiasco. I think 30 days free on sort of like a premium sort of subscription with it, and then if you don't pay for it before the end of that 30 days, that's it. It reduces it down to something like a silver account, so it just tracks your stats and maybe lets you join up to a clan, and leaves it at that. It doesn't give you all the extra features like, the Call of Duty Elite was promising, like how to do certain things on a map where people tend to die a lot and things like that.
Or the one thing that I would say right there, what about if it did something along the lines of your clan could buy a subscription, and then everybody in that clan doesn't have to pay for it. It would be a one-off payment by the owner of that clan. But then everybody could use it that was a member of that clan.
Or everybody is able to chip in towards a clan.
Yeah, exactly. Everybody would be able to chip in that type of thing.
Yeah, but obviously the clan would have to be shrunk down to something like a clan of 10 or something. So you, for example, OSG would probably have OSG and then once that one would fill up, it would have to go to OSG 2. So you have the two OSG clans, two OSG things in there, and it'd be interesting. You have OSG Alpha and OSG Bravo.
It would get complicated, and I know the old clan that I used to run around with, which was Annihilation Nation, back on the PS3. If there ever was something that was clan-based, it would need to have at least capabilities to handle over 100 members.
Oh yeah.
So, all these big clans, all the big names that's out there, and I'm not going to give the names out because it would take too long to mention them all, but most of them have got over 100 members. I'm not even sure how many members we've got in the OSG, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be...
There's about 112 in there now at the moment.
Yeah, exactly. It's they need to take that into account when they're building this thing.
Yeah. Speaking of shooters, I don't know if you remember what kind of kicked off the sort of first-person shooter way back in the early 90s was Wolfenstein 3D, and the one that put where obviously you had to go up against Hitler, and the other one which everybody will be remembering as Hell on Earth, or as it was Hell on Mars, was Doom. Now, Doom, the last Doom game that came out was Doom 3, and it came out on the Xbox. I'm not too sure whether it came out on the PlayStation 2 at all, but I know it was on the PC, and I had many a good fright from it. Bethesda have announced that there's going to be a Doom 3 BFG edition. BFG obviously referring to the big effing gun that's actually in the Doom games. This is a new remastered version of Doom 3, which will also include 7 new levels, which they're calling The Lost Mission, in addition to the Resurrection of Evil add-on pack, which has also been remastered. It'll be available on the Xbox, PC and PlayStation 3, marking the PlayStation 3 even, release of any Doom title. So it'll be the first time a Doom title has been on a PlayStation by the sounds of it. According to Bethesda, the remastered version has been optimised in 3D and features 5.1 surround and improved rendering and lighting. It also features a new checkpoint system with the achievements and trophies, and as a special bonus includes both the original Doom and Doom 2 games. If it's going to be at a decent price, i.e. 40 quid, then I would seriously say that this would be one of the best games to get, but it'd be interesting to see what they've done with Doom 1 and Doom 2, considering you can get Doom 1 on the marketplace on the Xbox. I'm not too sure if it's on the PlayStation Store.
Not that I know of. I don't recall seeing it anyway.
Right, I see it's the first Doom release for the PlayStation 3, so it could be that it could be a bargain for PlayStation 3 owners who've been wanting to get their shotguns out and into the Doom franchise.
I have to say, if it's a game that's going to then incorporate all 3 different games on it, and then produce them in high definition with a decent audio on it, I do think it will be one that would be
worth getting
bought, because it's 3 for the price of 1, basically.
Yeah, well, it'd be interesting to see what they've done with the Doom game, Doom 1 and Doom 2, to see whether or not they've did what they've done with the likes of Earthworm Jim and some of the Street Fighter games, where they've actually made gone back and redone the graphics so that instead of them being really, really pixelated, they look more HD look. Just keep them to the same sort of way. But so that'd be interesting to see. Speaking of fresh add-ons, there was a teaser a while back, teaser poster for Skyrim Dawn Guard. Nobody had a clue as to what it was about, and obviously as of May 31st, the trailer has been released by Bethesda. It's coming to the 360 in the summer, and the content will cost 1,600 Microsoft points and will remain a 360 exclusive for 30 days before making the leap onto the PlayStation 3 and the PC. And basically it looks like you're either going to be playing as part of sort of gothic-y looking vampires, or what they're calling the Dawn Guard, which obviously could be something like the Stormcloaks or something in it. And it looks like it's going to be actually really, really big. So
I do think it has to be really big, because Skyrim itself is a large name.
And the other thing is, though, I mean, there's obviously flying vampires in it, watery hideouts, werewolves. I mean, there's one part of it you see a dragon flying down into the frozen water. So it'd be really, really interesting to see what happens with that. And I really, really need to pick up Skyrim and finish it off before it's Dawn Guard. Before that comes out.
One thing I would actually say about if you're going to buy Skyrim, please, for God's sake, don't overdo it and play hours on end all at once.
Yeah, I've made that mistake. I played around about 80 hours of the thing, and every time I go pick it up, I feel I can't be bothered with it because I've spent too long on it.
Yeah, you can overdo it easily.
Yeah, it's such a great game. It's one of those games that if you like your RPGs, it's a must-have. If you like RPGs but you've never really been a fan or could ever get away with the Elder Scrolls games, rent it. seriously, I would seriously rent it. Obviously, because it's one of those games where you'll either fall in love with it within the first few hours, or you'll learn to hate it within the first few hours. Or you might even have a love-hate relationship. Hate it because you can never put the thing down, but love it because you can never put the thing down.
Yeah.
So, and another bit of news of a new incoming game from the creators of Mortal Kombat is called Injustice: Gods Among Us. Mortal Kombat developer NetherRealm is working on a new DC superhero brawler called Injustice: Gods Among Us, which is also being published by Warner Brothers Interactive. It's due for release sometime in 2013 on PlayStation 3, Wii U and the 360. It sees various DC characters going toe-to-toe, which include Batman, Harley Quinn, Solomon Grundy, Superman, The Flash and Wonder Woman. The game's tagline is, "What if the greatest heroes became our greatest threat?" According to the announcement blurb, it will be set in a world where the lines between good and evil are blurred. Eurogamer has obviously stated there that they've been told that they can't reveal Injustice: Gods Among Us, as it'll give the fans and gamers too much of an epic experience, to battle. And basically it sounds like it could be a 1v1 thing, a bit like Mortal Kombat, which could be interesting. So it'd be kind of like was it DC Universe versus Mortal Kombat? But obviously it'd be more towards the DC side of things rather than the namby-pamby blood and guts thing that Mortal Kombat is. So yeah, I'm really interested in this. GameSpot apparently has a brief teaser trailer for it, and anybody knows that Batman in a graphic novel called The Tower of Babel. If you haven't read it, I would suggest reading it because it was actually one of the Justice League's best issues, where basically Batman is able to take down the whole of the Justice League. And he takes down the Flash, he takes down Wonder Woman, Superman, Vision. Was it Vision in there? Is part of it? Anyway,
I believe so.
They take down. He manages to take all the Justice League down, and Superman has a point. What happens if you turn rogue? And Batman turns around and says, "That will never happen." And I think if they try to make Batman out as a bad guy in that, I don't think they'll have stuck to his mythology as well as what they should have done.
Batman has always been, anybody that's ever played the games will know exactly the characteristics of Batman.
Well, it's not just that. If you think about it, Batman already walks the blurred line between. Effectively, you could see borderline on being a criminal, because he brings in the villains and everything, but he works outside of the law. He's a vigilante. He's he's the world's greatest detective, but he beats the living crap out of people. He effectively tortures them to get the information that he needs. So it's borderline being a villain, effectively, So it should be interesting to see what happens there. A little bit of good news on the part of Epic, though. Back in 2007, Silicon Knights claimed that Epic was holding back money that it should have spent supporting the Unreal Engine, and instead poured it into the Gears of War development, which obviously Silicon Knights have turned around and said that problems with the engine allegedly caused 2 Human Studio to ditch the technology at the last minute and develop its own system, resulting in development costs shooting up. Obviously earlier this month, a presiding judge had ruled the maximum payout that Silicon Knights could claim, should it win, would be just $1, which obviously was a bit of a blow to them. Epic had a countersuit into Silicon Knights, which accused the two human developer of attempting to take Epic's licensed technology, pay nothing for it, and use it in any way it pleases, which was reported on Games Industry Biz. Silicon Knights is currently suing Epic, obviously, or was currently suing Epic at the time of writing of this back in 2007. So that was Epic's comeback. They were trying to take Epic's licensed technology and tried not to pay for it. Epic also claimed that Silicon Knights game engine, which it built to continue work on Two Human, and an unnamed title for Sega, is unauthorized and derived work that violates its license agreement. Epic is seeking damages of at least $650,000 US dollars, and in order for any of that will say any code in games that infringe the copyright is to be destroyed. Now, basically, what happened was the court or judge, whoever it was, ruled in favour of, the jury, should I say, ruled in favour of Epic on the basis of what evidence had been shown. It basically means that Silicon Knights will now have to pay Epic $4.45 million in damages, which is after the jury found in favour of Epic's counterclaims. The court ruled that the Silicon Knights breached their Unreal license agreement, misappropriated Epic's trade secrets, and infringed Epic's copyrights in the Unreal 3 engine code. And also, Epic now has 30 days to file a request for reimbursement of all attorney fees and costs, which I wouldn't be surprised if Epic actually do that. Now, obviously, a lot of people back in 2007 were like, "Ooh, that's sort of news, a bit of news." But obviously, these days, with publishers and developers, everything is now going to court with lots of different things. You had the whole thing with Ellie Noel last year, where Rockstar and who was it that did Ellie Noel game? I can't even remember the developer now.
Yeah, neither can I.
But the developer of that obviously started throwing a lot of accusations at Rockstar and everything, and their friendship broke down, so to speak. And it was the same thing with Activision a good few years back when Modern Warfare 2 came out. Obviously, that court case where Jason West and Vince Zampella were fired from Infinity Ward by Activision. Obviously, West and Zampella trying to take Activision to court and sue them. Basically, as we mentioned in the previous episode, that there was a lot of what was it? Oh, what were we saying? There was a lot of underhanded dealings from Activision's Bobby Kotick that nobody likes, or a lot of gamers don't particularly like this guy. And obviously, he's apparently turned around and said that do whatever is necessary to dig up dirt on these two guys. So obviously, these two guys have now gone off and set up Respawn Entertainment, doing something for a year, which obviously is Activision's main competitor. And obviously, the trial that was supposed to be starting was past Wednesday has now been postponed till Friday the 1st of June. Which obviously the reason for that was they've had a delay in getting assembling a suitable jury pool. And I've got no idea on how to pronounce the judge's name. But the judge has also ruled that the case must be completed in 22 business days, and attorneys had requested for 30 days, but the judge wants everything wrapped up by the 2nd of July. So obviously, we'll report on that as news comes out on it. So yeah, speaking of E3, that being obviously next week, are you looking forward to it, Kyle?
I am indeed looking forward to E3. There looks to be some big announcements. I don't know. Well, I'm sort of half and half. I'm anticipating that Microsoft will be saying something along the lines of, "We haven't got a new console, i.e. the 720, but it's in the midst," sort of say. I'm not sure whether they will be announcing a new one, but it will be in the future. I'm expecting they will be saying something along those lines.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of speculation and rumor going about everything at the moment, and the only company that's announced any form of new console is obviously Nintendo, which they did last year. Now, if Microsoft do any form of reveal, and the same is going to be, I'm going to be saying the same thing about Sony, because a lot of speculation is that Microsoft and Sony are to be releasing their new generation of console next year, as a lot of the rumours go on about. My guess would be that they'll turn around and show off some form of video montage footage saying this is what you can expect from the next generation or the successor of each console. Whether Sony go down the normal route of calling it PlayStation 4 or calling it something completely different. Microsoft.
I did recall PlayStation's announcements for they're not going to call it the PlayStation 4. I think they're going to call it some weird and stupid bloody name that I can't recall right now, but...
yeah, something to do with the Circle of Life or something, wasn't it? Because
Vita's
Lab was something to do with that.
Some sort of hippie, bloody, spacey, out there name that no one can recall.
Yeah, it makes you wonder what the board of directors have been smoking or something when they come up with a name, of some of these things sometimes, doesn't it?
Yeah, that was the one. It was one of them names that was like, well, what are you on?
Well, one of the funniest rumours that I heard about, obviously, the next PlayStation is to do with the Vita. Now, obviously, the PlayStation Vita is already out, and obviously, because since Nintendo have that, that Wii U board thing that looks like some form of game controller. The game controller with a screen in the middle.
Yeah.
The rumour that I've heard is that the Vita could act like that with the next PlayStation, which I've got no idea on how the heck that would work. But if it's all Bluetoothed, the same way as...
Well, the thing is with the PlayStation, all the handheld games consoles, the PSP, that type of thing, the Vista and all that. They all had the option to be connected Bluetooth to the PS3. Downside with doing that, well, it's got a lot of upsides to it, but it never made, a perfect connection. It weren't exactly fast. You could play on the handheld, or you could play, you could play your handheld games on the large screen through your PS3, or likewise your big games on the PS3 through your handheld PSP, but it didn't seem to work that well. It had lots of little niggly problems, and even when they did fix it, it weren't exactly to write home about. I don't know what to make of it. If they do try going down the route of like the Wii is doing with their new console, it could be iffy, but depends on the technology that's there, or the technology that they're out to use anyway.
Well, it'll be interesting to see what they come up with. A lot of the rumours of speculation and everything that's been going around, between the two different consoles, I think this next generation is going to be more hardware-wise. It's going to be so close that it's going to have to be down to the actual exclusives. Now, obviously, on the Microsoft side, you've got all those Kinect games, but you've also got PlayStation Motion games, which do exactly the same sort of thing with a woman's funny toy, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, the PlayStation Move, which I've had a lot of experience with the PlayStation Move, and I've also had a lot of experience now because I've only just bought myself one. The Kinect system, which is PlayStation's the
360 equivalent, basically.
the 360 equivalent of the PlayStation Pleasure Toy, i.e. the Motion.
But one of the games, I don't know if you remember, back in I think it was E3 in 2006, Square Enix announced that they were going to be doing a Final Fantasy 13, but also a Final Fantasy Versus 13, which basically never materialised. There's a video out that you can see on Games Radar at the moment, which looks like it could have spoiled one of Square Enix's major announcements for E3, basically, which would be Final Fantasy 15, which is a full numbered sequel, not some spin-off. And it's obviously, according to this, it's not only coming out on the PS3, but it'll be out on the Wii U. And from the sounds of it, they're going to be dropping the 360. I don't think it'll be coming out on the 360. Now, from what I can gather, Final Fantasy 13 on the 360 didn't sell as well as what the PlayStation version sold as. And I think a lot of that was down to the fact that they quickly rendered out the actual videos and everything and compressed them just to be able to stick them onto the disc and everything to get the game out as quickly as possible for the 360 as well, which could be interesting. But at the same time, it could just be a completely different game. It could be a fake, it could be a fake video that's up there as well. We don't know. Another game that is rumoured to be coming or announced would be a new Splinter Cell game. It's rumoured to be called Splinter Cell Blacklist and is currently scheduled for January 2013 release and headed to Xbox 360, PlayStation 3 and Wii U. Now, going back to the last Splinter Cell, Cell Conviction, I thought they did such a fantastic job with that. They took the slow, methodical knock somebody out, hide them, move on from that type of thing and stay hidden, to something where you've got to do it really, really quick. And I think it updated a genre that was starting to get a bit slow and become too much of the same thing, wasn't it?
Yeah, the predecessor to Convictions, which was Double Agent, were just, I thought it was getting a bit slow, getting a bit lethargic. It played very much like Pandora Tomorrow, which is one that I've only just started playing all over again, which was, I don't know whether it was a predecessor to that one yet again, or whether it has another one in the middle, but
Pandora Tomorrow was the second one, I think it was.
Yeah, I'm not sure, I'm getting confused, but
you had Splinter Cell, Pandora Tomorrow, Splinter Cell Chaos Theory, and then you had Double Agent, and then
that's it, Chaos Theory,
and then you had Conviction, and then this new rumoured one, which is going to be Blacklist.
Yeah, the point is that the Double Agent had a brilliant storyboard. Everything was fantastic about it, but it did get rather samey. It was starting to get a bit slow and lethargic, and all the missions did look exactly the same as the predecessor versions of the games. Then we moved on to Conviction, which completely broke the mold in the way of all the other Splinter Cells. Although it is a Splinter Cell, it's still, I don't know whether it's Tom Clancy who's still doing it, but
yes, it's Tom Splinter Cell. What was it? There was Splinter Cell, Rainbow Six, and Ghost Recon. Are all Tom Clancy games.
Yeah, it is. It's Absolutely fantastic convictions. Really did love it, really did enjoy it. So I'm looking forward to this latest and greatest one.
It'll be interesting to see what they do video-wise and everything. What new things they can add into it and stuff.
Interested to find out what's happening to the character. Because Sam Fisher's getting a really old man now.
Well, he's not only getting a really old man, but he's also, if you think about it, he's not just being an old man. He's getting messed about a bit. Without giving any of the storyline, if you haven't played Splinter Cell Conviction, I'd seriously go out and buy it. You can pick it up for about £5 now in the shops.
It's one of them £5 must buy if you see it. You'll really enjoy it. If you're not a big fan of Sneaky, then whoops. But if you do like a good old sneak mission where you run up and stab somebody in the eyeball and then turn around and then shoot his mate in the head whilst trying to avoid the radar, it's a good one to be having a look into.
Yeah, but yeah, and one of the things I'm looking to find out more from, basically, which will be on the Microsoft E3 thing again, would be the debut of a new Gears of War title. The Game Informer has it on the front with a character in handcuffs and 2 cog soldiers behind them, and it's looking out into what looks like to be Sarah, obviously getting bombed to bits. Now it looks like this thing could be set before the first Gears of War, and my guess would be that the character that's in the handcuffs is Marcus Phoenix, because obviously, as you know, you start Gears of War in a prison cell, so it could be an interesting thing that it could be Marcus, the bit where Marcus Phoenix ends up getting locked up at the end of it. Who knows? So it'd be interesting to see what that goes as.
It would be a brilliant addition that would make sense.
Yeah, it would. I mean, it gives a whole meaning backstory to it. I mean, if you look in a sense, if you look at Halo, you had Halo 1, Halo 2, Halo 3. If you minus ODST, which was a spin-off between all, if you wanted to put it in chronological order, you had Halo 2, Halo ODST, and then Halo Reach. And then obviously Halo was set before all of that when the Covenant first started attacking. Now Reach, obviously being the last one Bungie did, went back as a prequel and told the story of the fall of Reach, which is hence why it's got the title. Now this could be the same sort of thing. They could have gone back over to tell other parts that haven't been told. It'd be interesting to see if they come up with other characters in the Gears of War genre, because I'm a firm believer that they could actually go off and do a lot more with the Gears of War franchise as part of, I mean, you were only following Delta Squad, if you think about it, in the Gears of War games. So they could go off and focus on Bravo Squad, for example.
Yeah.
Or they could call it Gears of War Recon, where you had a group of people that are recon people or a recon team, and you're trying to get in without being seen and things like that, and try to make it a bit more of a sneaky. You don't know. It
that'd be a very good addition to it. If they did a game like that, which were a recon unit going behind enemy lines.
Well, to be honest with you, I actually read not the Pendulum Wars, Asphalt Faults novel. Gears of War, and it was a really good read. I mean, you find out more about Dom's brother, who obviously died. And you find out about his relationship with Marcus a lot more, and how Dom became one of the commandos, where Marcus becomes just a grunt instead of becoming a scientist or something. And a lot of people, I mean, I used to think Dom was the better character, and Phoenix was just one of these dumb grunts that got lucky. But reading the backstory, you actually find out that Phoenix is actually one of the most brainy people there, obviously because his dad's a brainy scientist, but you actually find out that he's tactically sound, and he's really, really obviously intelligent and stuff. So, and that's not portrayed in the Gears of War games. All you're getting there is run along and shoot, I'm a grunt type of thing. So, you know, it is interesting to see what would happen there. I mean, they cancelled that Gears of War Exile, which was supposed to be a sort of rumoured Gears of War on Rails Kinect thing. You know, and obviously Microsoft pumping out as much as they can with the Kinect. You know, you got Forza 4 using the Kinect capabilities of driving a car without holding the steering wheel or using your controller. You've got Mass Effect 3 using voice commands, as well as Skyrim, which you can now do the shouts for. So you might be sitting there going "do fast rah" at your TV, and your girlfriend or wife comes in, wondering what gibberish it is that you're speaking. Then they then realise that you're on Skyrim. You know, and then obviously you've got the gunsmith in Ghost Recon, where you can pull your gun apart and put it back together. But then obviously you've also got the more Kinect games that are, you know, like Kinect Adventures that you get with Kinect. You know, you've got the Joyride game, you've got Kinect Sports Season 1 and 2, as well as the Gunstringer. You can use the Kinect with Child of Eden, and apparently you can use the PlayStation Motion with that. That came out on the PlayStation, didn't it?
Yeah, the PlayStation Motion was, I think, and I believe it was after the Kinect was launched, but I'm not 100% on it. The PlayStation Motion, I would recommend everybody just like looking it up on their iPhone or something, going on the internet, finding a picture of these things. Me and Mike's always joked about the fact it looks like a women's pleasure toy, but as soon as you look at it, you'll see what we mean. It's got a big, well, it looks like a golf ball or something attached to the top of it, and that's how the sensor works. The balls on top of it light up, which then the camera on top of your TV or wherever you put it, linked to the PlayStation, then detects where this ball is, so it knows where your hands are, and then translates it into some form of movement on the game.
I mean, you could refer to the thing as a Billy One ball if you think about it, if you by the look of it.
But it is all sorts. The things I would say about it, when you compare it to the Kinect system, it's about the same. It's not as good as the Kinect system. The fact you have to buy two of these things basically. If you try doing most of the games with only one of them, you'd find it a hellish bloody task. If you do it with two of them, you get better responses and better tracking because, you know, you've got two of them as 2 points of data for it to actually understand what the hell you're doing. If you're doing it with just one, it makes it really hard, it's slow, it doesn't have the best tracking in the world. Don't get me wrong, it's not a bad system, and for those PlayStation lovers that won't switch over to Xbox, this is the closest thing you'll get to the Kinect system. It's still good in its own way, and you've still got really good games on it. I mean, there's still bowling on it, and balls, which I thought was one of the better ones, just playing balls. The archery on it was fun and enjoyable. The discus one, which is sort of like golf and frisbee thrown into one, that was really good fun. If not slightly problematic, as you know, with the tracking of it, but yeah, it was enjoyable, and it's something that you can pick up now for about 20 quid.
I have heard though that I had heard quite a while back that the PlayStation Motion is actually more accurate on tracking than what the Kinect is. But since then, the Kinect has had a couple of updates. I don't know whether or not Sony's updated the the firmware for the motion whatever you want to call it. But I don't think
I'm not sure. They're probably about on par with each other now. I would like to say they are on par with each other, but it's been a while since I've been on PlayStation, and I've only just literally got the Kinect. So
well,
I
it's not
have
just that though, Firestorm. I mean, if you think about it, you've got Microsoft who's cramming Kinect down everybody's throat with obviously the way that you move about the dashboard by yelling at the Xbox, which I think everybody does anyway, except the Xbox takes no notice of you. And then obviously you've got them trying to get every single game that comes out on the Xbox to have Kinect incorporated in some way. Whereas Sony, on the other hand, have just gone, yeah, here's a PlayStation Motion, here's a few games, and they've not really pushed it as an accessory.
Yeah, it's a very good system. I do enjoy the motion. That sounds funny. I did enjoy using it. It is a good system. The one thing I would actually say about it is, if you are lucky enough to own a motion, and you're lucky enough to own a PS3 in general to use it, and you've got the Killzone 3, don't expect to be the best in the world at Killzone 3, because Killzone 3 is more meant for the controller as opposed to the motion system. It's still very good with the motion system.
That's the thing though with these games, I think.
Control.
Yeah, I think these games that are coming out still, I think the developers still don't know how to incorporate the functionality of the things like the Kinect and the PlayStation Motion into games properly, where they're actually going to be beneficial to the game rather than just some gimmick that's been attached to it.
Yeah, that's the thing with the Killzone 3 and the motion system. It is just a gimmick that they've added into to get more people into it.
Well, take Mass Effect for example. It uses voice commands to be able, you can be playing away in a firefight, and instead of just trying to go and pause, go around the wheel, Gareth, you need to do this on this person, you look at the person with the controller from what I'm being told. I haven't tried it myself yet, but if you're looking at the person that you want that person to target, and say that person you want to do the shooting would be Gareth, and you want him to use his overload ability, you would highlight that person, you'd highlight the target, you'd go Gareth's overload, and he would use that overload ability on there, and it means you're not having to go into any form of sort of wheels or anything to get the thing to go, to get him to do that. Do you know what I mean? And plus, the other plus side of that is instead of selecting the thing with your controller, you can actually say the words that are on the screen to select the option. Little things like that where it's got those little touches introduced into the game. I think it would be more beneficial. Like take Rainbow, they're doing a new Rainbow Six, for example. Now, if you've got Kinect, and it tracks your hand movements up by your head, you can, stick left hand up for you've got people over there, right hand up for hold or something like that. Do you know what I mean?
Well, what would be interesting is if you've got a fighting game, you could use actual military signals to tell your troops or tell the rest of your squad what to do.
The only problem you got there is the Kinect only does up to your wrist. It doesn't do your fingers.
Yeah, I know. But it's just a fantasy, but it would be a lovely advantage, wouldn't it, if you could do that?
the rumours are with Kinect 2 that it's going to be able to do your fingers, lip read and all sorts. Do you know what I mean? So, and you're going to be able to have 4 players on it rather than just the 2. So it'd be interesting to see what does happen with that. Game wise, on the Kinect, because obviously I've got nothing to compare it with on the PlayStation 1. I know that I've played like the Wii Sports stuff and that on the Wii, and I have to say the Kinect Sports, even Season 1 and Season 2, it is so much fun playing it on the Kinect compared to the Wii. And like I said, I can't say PlayStation Motion because I've never used it. But I mean, as you know, we were having a game of boxing the other day, and we were doing track and field before you decided to start shouting your head off at the console because it wasn't doing what you were wanting to, and then you realised you hadn't set the thing up properly with your smiley face card.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, I mean, you probably thought Microsoft have put a nice smiley face in there to say, "Oh, thank you for buying this Kinect." No, it's to set the thing up. Well, yeah. So basically, you know, we've had a few goes on it. I was playing the Gunstringer the other day. That is really good. You can pick it up and play. It's a bit weird to start with till you get used to using the left hand to move your character about and the right hand to do the shooting with. And what was the other game I played? Disneyland, you know, the Disneyland game.
Yeah.
Now, I'm a grown bloke of 30. Don't get me wrong, I do like my Disney films and everything. I bought the game for my 3-year-old to have a go on when I see him on a weekend for him to play with. You know, something that we can do together on the computer, you know. And I found myself playing the thing for 2 hours non-stop before I realised how long I'd actually been on the game. It's one of those games, it's open world. You can go wherever you want in the park. The park has been modelled on the Disneyland Florida park. And you can go up to the likes of Mickey, Minnie, Donald, Daisy, Goofy, Pluto, Captain Hook, Peter Pan, all the characters. You know, you can get their autographs, you can dance with them, give them high fives, hugs. You know, and so you can interact with them. The rides are absolutely fantastic. I mean, one of the ones that I've done is like a toboggan ride. And then one of the tasks I had to do was go to the Mad Hatter's Tea Party. But to get to that, you had to do the other 2 chapters before you got there, which meant going down the rabbit hole, which was kind of like as if you were like parachuting down something, which was brilliant. Then obviously you had the bit where, you know, in Alice in Wonderland where you got the Queen of Hearts and Alice playing croquet with the flamingos.
Yeah.
You're, instead of being one of the hedgehog, you're in like a bubble, and you've got to move to the side, left and right, to dodge, to collect coins. You've got to jump over some of the card soldiers, and then obviously it moves on to the Mad Hatter's Tea Party after that, which is obviously where they say you've got to dance, so you jump around like a mad loony, and then you've got to stop and do the pose that they're doing. And then dance again, and then do the next pose, and do that again and again and again till it does take photos of you as you're doing it as well, which is a bit of a giggle. And there's lots of little quests in it as well to do. You know, go and speak to this one, go and do this for such and such. And the control's really easy. You swing your arms backwards and forwards as if you're walking. If you want to turn left or right, you stick your arm out as you're moving, and you move round that way. Depending on which arm you stick out. You know, if you want to speak to somebody, you wave at them. You know, there's lots to see. I mean, I just spent a half an hour walking around the park having a look. It is an absolute pleasure to play that game. If you've not played it, or you don't think you would like it, and you've got a Kinect, rent it. Or do as I did, buy it. You can pick it up for about £25 pre-owned. It's got no online pass or downloadable content for it, so you might as well buy it pre-owned. You know. And then obviously there's the Kinect Sports games. And I haven't.
I've enjoyed playing quite a bit.
Yeah, they're actually quite fun. If you're into your Keep Fit, or you want to get into Keep Fit, I would suggest going with the EA Active Sports rather than the UFC trainer, on the basis that the UFC trainer, I think you're supposed to have a bit more fitness to yourself than what I actually had, and it absolutely killed me basically when I first did it. So yeah, there's lots to obviously see and do.
The fitness note, mate, even if the standard game, which is just Kinect Sports, the first one.
Yeah.
The one thing that I'm doing now, because I need to lose a bit of weight, if you play about an hour a day, even though it's on the standard, the games for it, like football or ping pong or whatever you want to do in it, even if you play it for about an hour a day, you will lose weight doing that, and I'm actually finding a health benefit myself by doing that.
Yeah, I mean, if anybody turns on and says games are unhealthy for you, turn on and say, no, I have a Kinect. I jump around like a mad loony in my sitting room or bedroom, and the photos get taken to prove it. If you go to my KinectShare.com and put my gamer tag in, you will find me on there. One of the other games that I bought, which was off the Xbox Live Arcade, was Fruit Ninja Connect. Anybody that has like an iPad or iPhone will probably already have it on there. This is so much fun. It's one of those games, if you've got a quick 5 minutes, chuck it on and you can chop some food up before, if you've got the quick 5 minutes to go off and do something. So I mean, what was that one that you were playing that you were saying earlier on that you should really avoid?
Yeah, it's Haunt. It's called. You'll know it when you see it. It's essentially a spooky house that you have to go around and do certain things like open doors with keys and put cogs in various mechanical mechanisms to get something to work and then continue on through the game. The tracking system on it, no matter how good you've set it up, doesn't work that well. You need to literally own a mansion that's completely empty for miles around in order to have enough space to move to get your character to do what you want to do.
Is that including having the zoom thing attached to it?
Yeah, I've got a zoom thing, and there's still, believe me, there's not enough space in the world to move where this game wants you to move.
So would you say that if you're interested in the Kinect, but you don't feel like you've got the space, invest in the Zoom and get a Kinect because it is really good?
Definitely invest in the Zoom. Whether you've got a Kinect system and you're happy with it as is, then it's sort of a 50-50, it's up to you. If you're finding that you've got the Kinect system, but it's, you're really pushed for space, or you're just not finding it as the best thing in the world and you're thinking about trading it in because you're not happy with it, invest in the Zoom function. If you're still not happy with it, then the choice is up to you. But I've got the Zoom on it. Mine works absolutely brilliantly. It's easy to install. It's built reasonably well. There's no mechanics in the Zoom. It's literally just the 3 or 4 lenses and the LED bit in it. Really easy to connect. Quite cheap as well. I think I got mine for about 20 quid or thereabouts. That was off Amazon. It shrinks, even though it says on it it's a 40% reduction. I really do think they were lying, because I'm not kidding. Without it, I would be stuck. With it, it's about half the amount of space needed to play without it. It really does feel to me that they've cut it down by 50%.
Well, I need to get one of them myself, I think, because I've recently moved, so I haven't got the space now as what I used to have. So you're saying basically, if you've got somebody who hasn't got the Kinect, you would seriously recommend the Kinect to anybody who hasn't got it, but would recommend them, if they haven't got the space, which is the reason why they're avoiding it, to go out and get this Zoom thing to add onto the front of onto the Kinect to be able to play it.
Yeah, basically, I would highly recommend the Kinect system or the Wii or the PlayStation Motion. If you're struggling, well, the thing is with the Motion, you don't need to worry about the space because it tracks your hands because you're holding controllers. If you've got a Kinect system and you're worried about the space, or you've got the space but you're having problems with whatever it might be, have a look at the Zoom function because it does solve an awful lot of problems. There's 2 pictures online which I found recently, which I've lost the links to, otherwise I'll tell you. But it gives you a picture of what the eye sees without the Zoom function, and a picture with the zoom attached to it, and it's sort of like a fisheye lens, if anybody knows what they are, and it shrinks the outside world, or should I say expands the outside world, but shrinks the thing it's actually targeting to make it easier for itself to pick up. And it does make a hell of a difference to playing. I mean, my bedroom is in a loft conversion in a bungalow. I really haven't got that much space. The tallest vertical part of my walls is only about 3 foot off the ground. The rest of it's just angled ceiling. So you can imagine the size of space I'm playing in. I've got the zoom function, and I've been enjoying my Kinect to its full usage for about a week now. It's definitely a little gadget that should be having a look into. Whether you've got the space or not, doesn't necessarily matter if you have got the space and you have, problems. It solves problems that you might not necessarily admit to or think there, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
You got anything more to say about it, or?
No, not really. I mean, I would seriously recommend it with, I would seriously recommend it even if you're just going to move about the dashboard.
Yeah, yeah. It's good for moving about the dashboard, and the better one yet is if you have got the Kinect system, you can tell it to like Xbox Bing. Of course, Bing is the search engine within Xbox itself. And then you could just talk to your Xbox basically, and then it would search out whatever your little heart desires.
Yeah,
Even if you're looking for movies on, Sky or something like that, if you say Xbox Bing and then X-Men, I'm pretty sure it will go off and find it.
Well, yeah, if you go sort of like Xbox Bing X-Men, for example, as you said, what it does is it goes off and it finds everything that's video and content related as well as game related to that, to X-Men, and then you can narrow it down by seeing movies, and it'll bring up all the movies. You know what I mean?
And then you can narrow it down to individual movies if you wished.
Yeah. It is easier to navigate as well. Things like Netflix, you can move it about by voice command or waving your hand like a loony. So it is definitely something that people should maybe look at investing in. But I think a lot more people are going to stop doing that now. With the fact that the rumours of a new console coming out and whatnot.
Anyway, I think we've waffled on for long enough. I've been Firestorm.
And I've been the Earth Nerd. And that would be episode 6 done and over. So everybody who's been listening, thank you very much. Don't forget to like us on YouTube. Follow us on Twitter at GamerMen UK. And also, if you're viewing this on YouTube, don't forget to pop over to thegamermen.co.uk. You can download this episode as an MP3 if you want to listen to it on your iPhone, iPad, or anything like that, or pass it around to your friends or whatever. So yeah, and on top of that, we are gonna start posting more up on the GamerMen website. Just obviously with one thing and another, and the site originally being hacked, and within it's due to the theme that was put up there. So yeah, thank you for listening, and we'll see you again on the next episode.
Yeah.
Enjoy, just keep on gaming.
Yeah, enjoy your gaming as well.